Call. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, Cripsters around the globe. It's so great to see so many of you on the call with us today. We're going to have a super exciting call. You're going to hear from our CEO, Volker Wanig, our Chief Operations Officer, Robert DM, and Head of Marketing, Peter Putz. Since our launch in January 2019, we've grown in over 106 countries. We have over 99% member retention. And that makes us really happy because that means we've delivered the safest, easiest, and most transparent platform for you to grow your assets. But now as we embark in a new era where you can add even more assets and grow them also. First up, we're going to be speaking to Volker Wanig, our CEO, who is perhaps the most transparent CEO online because we all have got to know him so well over these past 18 months. In fact, he's even got to know us a little bit. And as we see him often speaking to us from home with his beautiful family around him. Volker, thank you for joining us here today. We're super excited to hear everything about all the new developments on the platform.
Thank you very much, Debbie. Also, thank you to all the attendees from around the globe for taking the time throughout your probably busy day. For the majority of the attendees, it's going to be a good evening. So good evening to all the Australians and Kiwis. Josh, you're relaxed, that's very good. Also, thank you for attending from the other parts of the world, the UK, Europe, South Africa, Africa in general, or even South America. As you all know, Cripster is now operating for 18 months. And I think it's a very huge step forward now for us as a community, for us as a platform, to introduce the next coin that we're able to trade for you guys on your behalf, which is the XRP. And I think the best way would be to give you maybe a deeper inside overview on why we have chosen XRP as a standalone product. And there is only one gentleman in this audience that can explain why XRP is so promising, but maybe also gives you a broader knowledge behind the scenes, why we do believe that XRP is going to change the banking landscape and will disrupt everything that we know from interbanking settlement coins or payment methods. That's why, Debs, if it's okay for you, I want to introduce Robert myself. He has been the one that has been standing by Florian's and my side alongside with Peter Putz. I love that. In German, we call it Peter Putz, but Peter Putz is super. And he was the one that really set up the whole infrastructure, also from the vision, the mission, and the marketing perspective. We were fighting hard to get to the point where we are now. And I'm very excited to have Robert at our side because he is a tremendous asset when it comes down to setting up new operations within our platform, Cripster. And that is the reason why Mr. Robert DM, as an acting COO of the platform Cripster, without further ado, I would love to hand over the mic virtually from my room to your room 3 meters away to give people maybe a little overview why we think that XRP is going to be the next superstar when it comes down to digital assets. Please, Robert, take it away.
Hi guys, thank you very much for the introduction. Just two very small corrections in that manner. I am Chief Operations Officer of AppGuru, which is the technology and marketing provider for Cripster, and I'm acting as a general advisor to Cripster as a platform. I just want to keep the words straight because this is important, so that everybody understands the roles and the respective responsibilities coming along with them. So, and the second slight correction is I didn't really, in regards to XRP, it's, as our trader Mark Bandred said in another call, a sleeping monster. But I don't want to, I'm not sure if saying that XRP is going to be the next big thing would be exactly my pronunciation of things. So when it comes to XRP or when it comes to cryptocurrencies in general, we have a very wide field of huge varieties. And now, obviously, when you look at things from a perspective of which coin is promising as a profit, like in a profit sense, then that's one perspective of how to look at things. But what I like to do is I like to take a look at the different, not only currencies, but tokens and the reason why they came about. So what I like to do is I really like to go into detail and look at the companies or the constructs or the open source communities behind the tokens to understand the reason for their existence. Because as you all know, blockchain technology is a neutral thing. You do not have to do any value transfer over blockchain technology. You can use it basically just to create identity or to secure yourself against identity fraud. You can use it to transport medical information from patients and all of these things. You don't have to necessarily use it to transfer money. But so there are a lot of tokens which have a lot of different use cases, but also which carry a specific philosophy. And I think it's very important when you look at the tokens that you're looking at, or when you're looking at the different coins that are out there, to not only understand their potential, but also understand their philosophy, and therefore understand where, if you would say it like that, on the scale of things they try to position themselves. So this is what I want to do, and what I want to show you a little bit, what I found out when I did some research on XRP, because it's highly interesting. And I think that as a move against Bitcoin, if you want, you can, in a first step, really diversify your portfolio in a very, speaking from a position or from a view, when you look at the way that the world is going to unfold in the next decades, which, as it were, sides are there, and on which sides can you bet. And so I think XRP is a very valuable but very different opportunity than BTC, and it will position itself in a very different community, respectively, in very different networks with a completely different vision than BTC does. And therefore, you can basically diversify your portfolio and bet on two horses which are running in a different direction, as it were. And I think this is one of the most important things to understand. So it's also a certain measure of diversification that doesn't necessarily, go in the same direction. So if the world turns out to go into another way, then with XRP, you have a good chance to basically also multiply your profits. Again, all of what we're saying is purely subjective. This is a personal subjective impression that I got from researching the different tokens and the general field of cryptocurrencies over the last months and years. And so none of this is in any kind of form or way and financial advice, so that you are supposed to buy something or not. So please take that out of the equation totally. I'm just talking about my personal interpretation of what I perceive XRP, respectively Ripple Labs, to be, and what their plans could be, and how that is, how you can visualize that by looking at what they're actually doing and how their technologies are being put into place. So please, again, do not understand this as financial advice. I'm not a financial consultant or any kind of other thing. I'm just talking about my personal interpretation of a very interesting and quite big corporation, which Ripple Labs has turned out to become. So I'm beginning to share my screen right now. Okay. So basically what I want to talk about is what I want to call something that people don't use too much, endogenetic. So Ripple's endogenetic strategy. I think this is really, it comes from geology, the word. So it means the way that rocks form in the earth and then therefore from itself produce different phenomena like volcanoes and that kind of stuff. But just basically translation, it means how the genesis of your operation comes from within. So instead of decentralizing a lot, and instead of getting huge, it's also the case, Ripple got a lot of, Ripple Labs got a lot of investments, but what they're doing is in a very bright and very smart way, basically financing themselves from their own marketing and from their own ICO. So this is, and this is a long-term strategy that has effects, I think, on the way, on the power, on the market, not on the market capitalization of XRP, but on the market presence and on the presence that Ripple Labs has all over the globe. And I think that they're doing it in a very smart way. I mean, you can morally question the way that they do stuff, definitely, and this is I leave up to you. But just from a functional way, I think it's a very smart approach, and also I think that it's going to help us determine which, as it were, side they're playing on. So let me just, so in that sense, but all of what they're doing is basically they're trying to come from within. So they're really very centralized, very they have a very strong root, and they're pushing a lot out there. Whereas other coins, for example, Cardano or the newly or Stellar Lumens or the Pi network, they really try to do it on a communal way and really decentralize and open source and all of these things. So Ripple Labs doesn't do that. They're a corporation. They're a serious business, and the way that they're financing things themselves basically is one thing that we're going to talk about right now. So hello, yes, very good. So Ripple Labs versus XRP. XRP is a cryptocurrency. Ripple Labs is a company. Actually, when we are saying that we're trading Ripple, we're making a fundamental mistake. We're never trading Ripple. We're trading XRP, which is a cryptocurrency, which is not necessarily to be identified with Ripple Labs. So they do their own stuff, and you make use of XRP, but other people can make use of XRP as well, just as much like we are doing right now. So Ripple Labs is working on multiple B2B products. You can replace those Bs, all of them. So you can say business to business, but you can also say business to banks, and you can say banks to banks, and you can say banks to business. So basically, they're in the realm of international money transfer, and they're producing products within that realm. And they are using XRP on the one hand to finance themselves in a very interesting way, I would say. But some of you could also probably, you know, think, well, that there's a moral judgment here that you can make up for your own. But at least it's kind of smart how they're doing it, and also they're using XRP as a basic standard of all of the exchanging and swapping between different currencies within their own technological framework. So that means every product that Ripple Labs brings to the market, yeah, so such as Xcurrent or Xrapid, those are protocols, respectively software applications that can help you, or that can help businesses or banks conducting international monetary transfers. And what they're doing is to basically exchange between two currencies. They're not exchanging them directly, but they're changing one of the currencies into Ripple or XRP, sorry for that, and then changing that very XRP back to the other currency. And this is really the fundamental reason for XRP being there in the first place. So that's what's going on. So they're basically trying to create a money exchange transfer standard, which is supposed to be rolled out, and that's the point. It's supposed to be rolled out as RippleNet, as a foundation of institutionalized international money and asset transfer. So their vision would be, as I get it, create a new standard, blockchain-based standard, completely with all of the respective advantages of blockchain technology, immune to fraud, completely transparent, all of these things, decentralized, fast, and all of these things. But take basically XRP and make it the exchange transfer between every other currency, crypto or fiat, that is out there, and make that happen fast, and get into the banks and get into the money transfer providers and get everywhere and infect everything with RippleNet, basically. So that's more or less what they're aiming for. So the really interesting thing is when XRP situation, because I'll know how you can actually get your token and therefore making it more hard. Can you still hear me?
You were breaking.
So am I back?
You're back. So can you please repeat the sentence you started with?
So different ways of extra tokens. needs to be mined. Can you hear me? Okay.
We can hear you breaking up.
Okay.
Now
Just
you.
give me a
No, not. Now we can hear you properly. Yeah, you're
okay,
back.
I'll try again, okay? I'll try again.
Yes, sir.
Just
All
stay
right.
front and center of the screen.
Excuse me?
Just stay front and center of the screen. It's when you move back, you come and go.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I see. So let me just find that page again and then start the screen share again. So Zoom doesn't like it if I move too much when I talk. Is that the case?
That's what they want to tell you. Please wait.
Zoom is basically like, Rob, that's nice, but can you stop moving around so much? Okay, I'll try to be centralized like Mr. Burns here, okay? So let me try that. Okay, so basically the usual way of getting, or many different ways of getting coins, sometimes you do that by an ICO, sometimes you do it by some kind of mining process and all of these things. In the case of Ripple Labs' XRP, what happened was they basically said there are 100 billion XRP in the world. And what happens is all of the 100 billion XRP in the world are in the possession of Ripple Labs and some investors, and we're just gonna sell them off. So that's basically what Ripple does, and they're constantly selling Ripple off. So basically, they're just providing and giving Ripple out and selling them, and therefore they're still owning more than half of the complete sum. So they're around 55 billion now. And they basically keeping Ripple or the XRP price very low doing so, because obviously what they're doing is they're financing themselves. So basically every time when they need money to do something, to create a new technology, to get new people, but also to do a lot of donations and marketing efforts, and also using it to incentivize institutions to work with them. So they're really using XRP in vast amounts, right? To finance their corporation, to incentivize banks or money transferring institutions to actually work with them, but also to do a lot of marketing and also to basically help develop. So there are huge donations. They've donated millions and millions of dollars to different kinds of nonprofit organizations, generally pushing into the direction of digitalization and all of these. So this is, I think, one of the highly interesting things, because of course you can say now, hey, wait a moment, that might be ripping me off because I buy XRP with the hope that it's going to rise, and they're basically flooding the market and therefore keeping it low. So investors who have invested early on have actually made quite high losses, among the 10 highest losses that you can have made with from the bigger players. But I don't necessarily think that that's the case. I think that it's a highly interesting strategy. Why? Because having a low price is an incentive for everybody and anybody to get into it. And now, obviously, you can say just from a value perspective, okay, so it's going to take probably a decade before all of the remaining billions of XRP have been flooded to the market, and therefore price could remain quite low for some time. But you know, I think what you have to, there you will find articles out there talking exactly about this, and technically they're right. So technically it's true that by pumping XRP into the market, selling it, Ripple Labs themselves is keeping the price low, and they're trying, if you read the articles, what they're doing is they're scrapping or they're scratching along the complete downfall of the stability of their own currency, right? But I think they're doing it in a very smart way. Why would you do that? Because look, now the thing is, first of all, they're able to incentivize partners to work with them, which is incredibly smart, because once you have a significant critical mass of banks or money transferring institution using your protocol and your coin as a standard, obviously this is going to skyrocket its value. Because right now it's not being like there, it's only a currency. But as soon as it becomes this utility of exchanging mechanisms in a wide way, obviously that's going to be positive towards its value. At the same time, what also I think very interesting is that well, it's interesting to keep prices low, because it's an incentive to buy the damn coins, right? So like at the same time, what they're doing is they're giving an onboarding where you can buy vast amounts of XRP, right, at a very low price at any given time. So if the volatility isn't high, so you can more or less trust that it's not going to go up in price for quite some time, which gives you the opportunity to actually gather some of your own capital and hodl even more of the Ripple at a very good bargain, when at some point in the future, when a critical mass basically turns over, its price is going to raise again. So short-term Ripple, I don't think is a short-term thing, it's a long-term thing. So let's take a look at the different software packages that they have. Well, Xcurrent, for example, is a messaging, respectively, interledger protocol form of settlement that can use XRP to basically swap any other currency or asset amongst one another. So this is highly interesting because obviously every time that they are using it, so you can on the one hand use XRP itself, but you can basically send or move any other value amongst this protocol, which always going to be, as I said before, swapped in XRP first and then swapped back into the other currency, and therefore making XRP the international value transfer standard in the future. So, and it's built in such a way that it's supposed to replace the SWIFT system, which is the standard international banking system, which is still highly idiosyncratic and not very fast in all of these things, which are things that you know. And right now, we're talking about 300 banks in 40 countries, allegedly, says Ripple Labs, that are already using this technology. I could find definitely these banks, but one of them, the Bank of America, with a question mark, because that's a new article just came out a couple of days ago that said Bank of America is allegedly also using the protocol, but they're denying it. So, if, as it were, I think that if you're talking about international banks from significant size, I mean, I'm talking about, you know, really big banks that are using XRP's technology, which therefore automatically will make them use XRP, the currency, for swapping purposes. That's the play. That's what it's all about. Like when that penetrates, and that's what they're doing, they're infiltrating the institutionalized money transfer networks, and there's bit by bit trying, using the capital that they got from their own ICO, to infiltrate all of these networks, right? And therefore trying to convince people and to basically just put it out there, right? And this is, I think, one of the pillars of why Ripple Labs has a plan, and why it's also a good plan, at least from the perspective of a certain vision. So obviously I'm a crypto enthusiast, and I like to have communities in place that say, hey, we are working on this new protocol, but everybody who does so basically is just doing it for free, and maybe they get some tokens, but there's no institutional power behind it, right? There are no partnerships, or at least they're getting along very slowly. Ripple is fast. Ripple is really fast. Ripple Labs is expanding really fast, and they're doing so by using the coins that basically, when you buy XRP, you're financing their expansion. That's basically what it's all about. Okay, so let's take a look at XRapid. Now, it's also, that's more like a software. The other thing is like a protocol, a system. Now, this is like a software. You can basically just send, like an email, very easily send money from one place to the other. And that's not the only thing that they're doing. Now they're calling it, so it's buys and sells XRP between exchange exchanges for cross-border remittance. This is for entities who can't or won't hold XRP. So basically, when you're in the interface of an XRapid software installment, whatever it is, so it's just I think it's a dev kit, and then you can make something else with it. Let's say you're using one of these services, right? In the future, you will be using XRapid by Ripple, and then they will also first exchange the money that you send to XRP, and then obviously get it back as the currency that the receiver will get, right? So, but this interface wouldn't have anything to do with cryptocurrency. You wouldn't even know that you're using XRP in the background. You're just using the interface and say send money to Volker or something, right? So that's highly interesting as well. And they're changing the names like on-demand liquidity. Also, they've just finished setting up a deal with PayID in Australia. I don't know if you guys have heard of it or used it already, but PayID will also be in the circle of applications, which will definitely be, which Ripple will have influence over. And so again, trying to establish a standard for worldwide money transfer, but the standard will be that XRP is the value that you can swap between those other currencies, whatever they might be. Now, I think that this is a very down-to-earth, but also a very, very, very classic conservative approach to blockchain technology. So this is my personal, perspective. I think that what they're doing is they're trying to institutionalize basically blockchain technology. So they're trying to use it within the institutionalized network. So what they're aiming for is creating the Internet of Value by trying to realize the larger vision, which is RippleNet. And then what they're doing is they're replacing the old systems of asset and money transfer, like SWIFT, with blockchain technology-based technologies, which come from Ripple Labs, but they're doing so without changing the power structure or the hierarchical structure of them, which is exactly a big approach of many, many, many other altcoins, respectively of Bitcoin itself, if you're seeing it that way. So I think Pin basically might not be a fan of Ripple's vision, as it were, although he might be a fan of the way that diversifying your portfolio in such a way will definitely reduce the risk of your own portfolio and of your losses. So I think that they have a liberal capitalist approach to cryptocurrency. They're just basically using it as funds, as investments, in a weird way, as one of the biggest crowdfunding episodes in history, because that's exactly how they get their money, right? But at the same time, they're not leaving anybody behind, because obviously as soon as XRP, when the plan works and XRP becomes a standard protocol of institutionalized money transfer, well, then I think that we're going to definitely see some upward scaling in its price. And maybe they will also stop flooding the market and keep a quarter of their original capacity to just basically also have the power to influence the market, which is again a good argument when you're talking to institutionalized people. So if you think yourself into the mindset of Ripple Labs, I think you're looking at a quite conservative, quite capitalist approach to blockchain technology, which in itself doesn't need to be a bad thing. It's neither a good thing, it's not a bad thing. It's just a perspective on things. But I think that what we can have, or what we can take out of that, basically is that we can have a little bit of the blockchain anarchy movement, which is Bitcoin, and then we even the odds while by actually adding the institutionalized momentum that we can get from XRP trading to it, and therefore giving you guys an even view on things without necessarily because you don't have to go this or the other way. But I think that it's an interesting first step in our portfolio, or in Cripster's portfolio, because it's definitely one of the things that is fastest growing right now. So they're just right now on the brink of basically infiltrating huge worldwide money transfer systems and establishing themselves as one of the biggest players. And so therefore, while it's not to be expected that the price is going to be skyrocketing anytime soon, they're not basically counting on that, I think. So I think they're just using all of their assets to really have built up company value in the end, and therefore establish market dominance with XRP in many, many different ways. So again, I think that also this is one of the ways where you know, where you will also be where blockchain technology could be used, even though the people with the guns still are in power, as it were, if you know what I mean. So, and I think that way we have a very interesting portfolio, because we are, you know, working with both sides, as it were. And so that's my personal and subjective interpretation of what I've learned about Ripple. And I'm very much looking forward if there are any, I don't know, moderator, how do you want to do that? Do you want to let them ask questions now or later?
I think we're going to ask questions at the end.
Yeah,
okay.
And Robert, maybe you can do this about every top 10 coin and just make this research week by week about the other huge assets.
I'm already doing it. It's just you guys just need to put it on the platform, and I'll do it with
awesome
with the greatest pleasure every time.
Thank you very much, Robert, for this very interesting elaboration on your thoughts on XRP and Ripple Labs. And now I've seen that you have been joined by Mr. Peter Putz. Peter, you got a new name now, Peter Putz. I like it. Maybe perhaps if it's okay for you, I will also introduce Peter. Peter is now with us for the last 16 out of the 18 months. No, 17 out of 18 months. And Peter was the guy that set up all the marketing actions and also the web page itself with our graphic designers, with our IT professionals in the background. So Peter, what do you think will change and will have to change now, because we started the trading opportunity and the trading possibility now within Crypto with XRP? No. We have to unmute Robert again. 1 second. I will unmute Robert. We're live. 1 second. Where is Robert?
Yeah, I'm here, but that he's another.
I'm on the other side of the table.
Okay, now we can hear you. Now you're fine.
Perfect. Loud enough? Loud and clear?
Yes.
Okay. So first of all, thank you. And thank you, Robert. So for me, for the marketing side, with all that being said, I think the key message here is...
Just 1 second, to turn your audio on.
Okay.
And I'll turn my audio on. Can you hear?
Now you try again, Peter.
So now you can hear me.
Now we have an echo. Robert, you have to move. Yeah.
Okay.
Now we have still an echo.
Still an echo? No. No more echo.
No more echo.
Okay. So again, I think the key message for the marketing part, so for my role in Crypster, is that with XRP, we are opening ourselves, Crypster, up to more than 100 markets and exchanges all around the globe. And with that, we are also opening Crypster up to millions of Ripple investors that would at the moment have to convert their favorite chosen cryptocurrency, their vision for cryptocurrencies, into another currency to participate on all the good things that Crypster has to offer. But with the new addition, Ripple, XRP, not anymore. So to give a little bit of a picture behind what we are meaning with that, over the next couple of weeks, we are going to see major changes to the Crypster dashboard, to the Crypster website, the Crypster communication channels, and all other social media and public properties. And those changes will represent our dedication in creating the best user-centric experience that we can possibly provide to all of our Crypsters, all of our current Crypsters, and also to our new XRP Crypsters. Among those changes, so the first major change that on the public side that you will all notice is in the next few days, starting with it, over the next couple of weeks, the current Crypster website is going to change its appearance. So Robert already gave you a first glimpse to the new and improved Cripster branding that we are going to show you all. And after we changed the website to its new complete picture, we are also going to have some new features within the dashboard and on the website available to all of you. So I don't want to spoil too much of it because I think you have to see those changes to experience what we mean. And I think that you have to keep an eye on the website for the next couple of weeks, starting within the next days. So stay tuned for that. And you will hear a little bit more about the new branding and what we are going to do with the website over the next couple of days. So yeah, I don't want to spoil it too much on this end now, because I think you have to experience it yourselves to see it, what we prepared for you. And all of the team are really proud what you're going to experience over the next couple of weeks. So just stay tuned and keep an eye on the website, keep an eye on your inbox, keep an eye on the dashboard, and we hope you like it, and we would love to hear your feedback on it. Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Peter. Peter, because you have not been too many times on a call most recently, what is your current SEO strategy that we're pursuing as Cripster? Because we're positioning ourselves in a fairly young industry. And so that people don't think, because they don't see too many things in the public appearance, that we're still on working like mad dogs when it comes down to positioning Cripster in the long haul. So maybe you want to just 30 seconds or a minute talk about the SEO strategy, if possible. I have to unmute you again because I see you're muted. Or can you unmute yourself?
I can unmute myself. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
So I don't want to go into the details of the strategy, because obviously that would be, just to give you an overview. So what we are working on the back end is a global strategy. And maybe some of you have already worked with SEOs in the past or have done SEO for websites in the past. Think of what we are doing as a multi-language strategy, that we are trying to position ourselves in as many key phrases and search phrases that are going to be relevant in the near future, and also that are currently being searched for. So this is a huge undertaking that we are doing here, and we are basically creating content and other stuff that are related to search engine optimization. Again, don't want to go into the details there, but we are doing quite a lot here. And we are already seeing the first fruits of our labor. I guess I said it right. So over the next couple of months and over the next couple of years, we are going to be in a very, very good spot. Maybe not even saying very near the pole position in regards of search engine optimization.
Super. So just that you know that if you don't see Peter too many times in live Zoom calls that we host at the moment 3 times per week, he's really either talking to bloggers, creating content himself with his team. So we have a long-term strategy there. Thank you very much, Peter, also for the marketing work that you do. Robert, thank you very much again also for being a very essential part in the whole process to get Cripster where it is now, and now also with the XRP introductional call, and also the steering of the operations, which is Deborah's job also, but you do it more from a technical infrastructure view, because you're the general consultant for our platform within the App Guru. So thank you very much. I know that you guys have other meetings, and I will answer the questions as good as possible. Maybe you can join us in the end, because now I think we will swap back to myself, I think, Debs, because we want to share some insights on the infrastructure itself, on the compliance side, and on what I've been dealing with the last, let's say, 10 to 12 weeks. Before I share my presentation, I had some tough decisions to make, let's put it this way, because I think that Cripster is now mature enough to head to a whole new role in this very small niche of cryptocurrency trading that we're trying to be a part of. And as you all know, on the other side, with friends of mine, I have been applying for a fully fledged asset management license. speaking to many lawyers, and I was speaking to 4 different lawyer groups in 4 different countries to get their opinion and insight where we're heading with the trading of digital assets, with the holding of digital assets, or with our service as Cripster as a platform that offers cryptocurrency trading. They all gave me the same message, that the regulators and the regulations will be much more strict within the end of this year and also beginning of 2021. And that is the reason why we have had internal workshops and strategy sessions and think tanks on how we want to pursue our service and our offer within the platform Cripster. And the result of that, I want to show you now, that you have a pure understanding on where we're all heading to. 1 second, I share my screen with you. 1 second, we're live. So can you see now my screen? I can see you, Debbie. So if you give me a thumbs up, awesome. So at this very moment, or actually when we started with our venture Cripster, powered by Blue Block Systems, we have been a purely and solely Bitcoin in, Bitcoin out trading platform, where we organized the trading on your behalf with licensed independent trading houses. And when we thought about what kind of digital assets we can add to our portfolio, or how does it have to be presented, by talking to many different lawyers, of course, the uni-level referral or refer a friend program that we have in place was sometimes a thorn in the regulators' eyes, because there has been a lot of companies that were misleading individuals throughout the last years in the mining area, in the trading area. And we asked them what we can do to be able to transition Cripster sooner or later to become the digital arm, or the digital assets trading arm of a fully fledged asset management house within the European Union. And the answers were always the same. You have to get rid of the 5-level, uni-level referral program, and you have to do some other things. And I just want to show you now that in my eyes, we have improved throughout the last weeks, and now you're going to see this, the offer to our clients and members big time and hugely. And I have to go here, I can swap it like this. So from today on, and I'm not sure whether you have seen it, we have made the update already. That means the dashboard, maybe I can show this live. The dashboard looks like this now. So if you go to the landing page, so our dashboard, you have in the very beginning 2 options. You can either choose Bitcoin or Ripple to be seen. I click on Bitcoin because that's the one that you still know. And as you can see here, nothing has changed, but a very fine detail that here within the same dashboard, you can actually swap to another view, which is the XRP view. And as you can see here now, I have actually funded my wallet with 500 XRP. Why? Because that's the minimum, and I will add many, many XRP to this account. But that's now the 2-head monster in a positive way, united in one dashboard. So the functionality is going to be the same as you have experienced it. So we didn't want to change too much from the technical standpoint of view, although we have built now a totally new multi-layer platform that allows us also in the future to add additional coins to be traded if the community wants that, or if we decide together that it's a fruitful operation if we add another coin. So the XRP trading itself is a huge step for us as a company, and of course also a huge step for you guys as a community. But we had to do a couple of minor adaptations, but with a major impact on the trading itself. And we have in this very moment some differences between the XRP and Bitcoin trading. So just some hard facts, and of course you can have this presentation, then afterwards we can send it out and sum it up in a newsletter so you're aware of this fact. So if we want to offer a standalone XRP trading product within the platform Cripster, we need to gather address and achieve a critical mass of 1 million XRP to be able to look at it as a standalone trading product. If you guys like, what is 1 million XRP? It's around 20 Bitcoin, or it's around 160,000 euros. Once that threshold is reached, we can start to trading immediately. Especially for the XRP trading, also we have hired a new trading team that is also showing some very nice results on the XRP trading, also historical. And they will really focus only on the XRP trading from our side. And it's a very prospective trading team that has really a nice track record. And we have to follow either in the compliance at the lead from the lawyers that give me their legal feedback, but from the trading side, we have to follow the lead of the trading teams in charge. And a smaller number of XRP to be put into trading doesn't make any sense to really look at it as a plain, solely treated, standalone trading product. So we opened the gate today. So from today on, you can fund and transfer your desired amount that you want to have in trading. Please also show us legally that you want to have this in trading by placing it into the marketplace. Although technically we will start the trading once we as a community has reached the threshold of 1 million XRP. And the first huge difference between the Bitcoin trading within our community and the XRP trading that starts or will start once we have reached the threshold is that there's going to be a flat percentage that our customers will receive, which is 55% instead of 50% that we had up to 1 Bitcoin. So we have chosen 55% as the number that every member that puts Ripple or XRP into trading should receive as a weekly profit. So we will still continue to show weekly profits if there is weekly profits to be shown. And the withdrawing possibility, I will explain in a second. The first major difference is now that every referrer or every affiliate that is within our platform, Cripster, will only get paid now for the acquisition of direct customers. So only frontline payout. But until now, we had, for example, 10% over the 50% that your customers have received for Bitcoin trading, which is a total of 5%. So 10% of 50% is a 5% of the total 100% that we share each week. Now you will receive 15% from 100%, which is actually a 3 times commission payout that until you have received it now. So we tripled the commission for your frontline customers. Instead of 5%, it's 15%. Why? Because we're only allowed and eligible to pay out on your direct registered and referred friends, members, contact, whatever and wherever you get them from. So it's 55% flat for your people that you introduce to the XRP trading on and in Cripster, and you receive a 15% referral commission instead of a 5% if you talk about total numbers that you have had until now. And we also have to change this for Bitcoin trading. And a lot of people will ask me also throughout the week, but Volker, what has happened to the networks and the hierarchy that we have built up? Before I talk to this, sorry, it was my mistake. And we also wanted to unite and unify the withdrawal times. And we thought about many different possibilities. And I think if you want to match our slogan, the world's easiest crypto trading experience, from September 1st onwards, we want to unite and unify the withdrawal of the Bitcoin trading and the XRP trading, which is you let us know until the last day of a calendar month what you want to withdraw. And as usual, maximum until the last day of the following calendar month, you will get the requested funds to your wallet. This was the best possible way to unite and keep the withdrawal process as easy as possible. So from September 1st onwards, until then, nothing is changing from the Bitcoin side. You will get it as you used to get the requested funds, but from September onwards, you will receive whatever you request in a calendar month, latest by the last day of the next calendar month, to have a very easygoing and very easy understandable withdrawal process. But now let's talk about the Bitcoin trading. And for the Bitcoin trading, everything will look the same from September 1st onwards. That means from September 1st onwards, for every new member that you refer into the platform Cripster, also there, you will receive a flat 15% commission for the referred prospects into Cripster. So it's a totally new world, but this is now the major news for you. Although some lawyers were not agreeing with me on how to proceed with the hierarchy and how to proceed with the network that has been built up so far, we will grandfather every single person that will enroll with us until August 31st. So every single member that will use your referral link, you will get a grandfathered commission also after September 1st in the Bitcoin product, the XRP trading product. From the very beginning, it's only one referral level. After September 1st, the Bitcoin trading possibility or opportunity, also again, for the new people that join us after September 1st, it's one level of affiliate commission only. But whoever will enroll until August 31st and will fund their Bitcoin account with the minimum of 0.01, we will have a commission run also in the future for every single member that has been put on into your 5 levels. Therefore, we wanted to secure and congratulate you on the hard work that you have done so far. So nothing gets lost. Every single member that has been with us and will join us until August 31st midnight, Central European time, will be in your team hierarchy, and you will get commissioned also in the future on the Bitcoin trading product. Every single member that starts after September 1st will be placed in just one frontline level to you, but therefore you will get 15% commissions instead, maybe the 5 or 7.5 or 10% in total numbers. And that means that we can start now almost like a year-end business, because whoever in your eyes should be placed within your team hierarchy, you should let know now throughout the summer that this 5-level refer a friend payout plan will be frozen or grandfathered from September 1st onwards. So every new member in the XRP trading area, you will only get commission on the first level anyhow, but for the Bitcoin trading products from September 1st onwards, it's going to be the same. So we have to unite both products and the compliance aspects of both products. But whoever will join with your referral link or with the referral link of your existing team partners will be grandfathered from August 31st onwards. And now, as always, time for questions. I have to read the chat box. And yes, Ashrif, nothing changes. It's 55 for the customer, and it's 15 from our marketing budget again. So nothing is touched from the customer's deposited funds or taken away from his or hers weekly profits. It's again from our marketing budget where we pay the 15% from. And this is the only possible way to also maintain our service and offer and not have anything to be changed within the next 6 months, but therefore also being able to transition this trading opportunity also throughout the next year. And I think this is a very, very good thing that happens at this very moment, because the more regulators will take care about their job, the less misleading opportunities we will find out there. And I think it's a tremendous act that we could also from the calculation side make to actually triple the commissions that you have received until now, but only for your first and frontline referred people for the XRP product, and also from September 1st on for the Bitcoin product. But until then, actually, you can enroll as many people as you want, and we will grandfather, so to speak, we will freeze the team hierarchy as it is then on August 31st. And in addition, but this is a separate call that has to be done on Friday this week. In addition, I will introduce a bonus plan or an incentive, as people in this industry might call it, that will start on July 1st and will end on December 31st of this year. But I think it's also too important for a long-term residual income opportunity to overwhelm you now with information. I think this should be discussed this Friday in a separate call. But now I'm, as always, open for any kind of questions. I want to thank again Peter and Robert for doing their excellent job. And also, I think from the compliance perspective, we all as a community can look into a bright future, because we want to follow the rules and regulations, and we want to apply with all the existing laws within the European Union, and of course also then to all the members around the globe. And this had to be done, and this step was necessary, but I think we all come out now as winners, because a triple commission, a grandfathered hierarchy, a new XRP trading product, and this is also my goal then. We will get to a point where we are not seen as a network marketing company, hopefully then anymore, or as an MLM opportunity. We are going to be a booking.com affiliate marketing system where you can actually refer people, or for online marketeers, it's going to be a very interesting time. And to answer Andrew's question, if a client who is currently in our level 3 who has Bitcoin in trade increases their Bitcoin. Yes, it's about the people and not about the assets in trade. So whoever is in your hierarchy of referred people until August 31st, even if they have 0.01 Bitcoin in there, and then maybe 10 Bitcoin, because they make an additional deposit, you will get commissioned on that. So this is very important. And I think like this, we have a win-win situation for all the members, but also, of course, also for us, because we want to set the foundation to be able, as I mentioned it before, to take Crypster as this digital trading asset arm and put it as a division then under a fully fledged asset management house. And that's the only possible way. There's no way we could have done it with a 5-level referral program in place, because the regulators, we were raising too many question marks if you want to do this. And that's, I think, now a way and a path forward in the future that I can live very well with. I hope you as well, because triple commissions is an extreme amount of money. And now if people say, but Volker, within the XRP, I only get paid on one level, but your friends maybe introduce it to other people. So at the end of the day, more commission also mean that more referral commission will be put into the next week's trading sprint. So also the referral commission, it will add up. Someone will come to your front line where you actually get your 15% total, so absolute numbers, 15% from our marketing budget. We have one extra incentive for people that reach a certain amount of XRP/Bitcoin in their front line, so in the direct referral environment. We will also send this out because there's going to be an additional 2% if you reach certain thresholds throughout this period of time. So now the questions. So the minimum, I start with Anna, the minimum XRP need to earn commissions from referrals. I'll share my screen with you because it's very clearly stated. As you can see here, 500 XRP minimum not reached. Okay, I will be leading by good example. 1 second. I will go to my Ripple. I transfer it all. Okay, transfer. So that's the way it should look for all of you then, because then legally you signal us, yes, I not only want to use Cripster as a store of value, I also want to take action as soon as it's possible. So as soon as if we have reached as a community together the 1 million XRP threshold, we will start the trading immediately. Okay,
Gina has also asked, what's the expectations of reaching that 1 million threshold?
We have received the signals also from some fairly large stakeholders in Australia that have a quite substantial amount of XRP to make this within the next 2 weeks. That's my private expectation, because I just can compare it with the Bitcoin trading. When we started, of course, we had people like Frank, couldn't thank him enough for this, that kickstarted our platform. Otherwise, we would have had to do the same with Bitcoin back then as we have to do it now with XRP, because there is no trading house on a profit share base where you say, hey, here is 6,000 XRP and please do the trading for us. So they need to have also for following different strategies to have a certain amount. And this is what they told us with 1 million XRP. So I think that if we're quick, maybe as a community, we still can start within the first week of July, but this is out of my hands. I'm just telling you now as the one that has to cut the green so you can play ball on it, what makes sense from the trading teams, and they will not start prior us to hit that number. Okay, the next question.
Jenny, did you have a question?
I was trying to move my cat, but I do have a question as well.
Hi, Jenny.
Hello, Volker. There's 100 billion, I'm not sure if I should call them coins or tokens, on issue with XRP.
55 billion, yeah, is still in the threshold of Ripple Labs, yeah.
Yeah,
What's
so
private
55
investors?
billion not on market yet.
Yes.
So is it possible then that they could create another 100 billion? Or is 100 billion the limit for XRP?
Mr. DM, you want to answer that question, because I've seen you preparing and all dolling up again. Should you're still muted?
He's unmuted.
Okay.
Am I unmuted? Okay. Hello, Jenny. Technically, XRP has the possibility of basically reprinting their own XRP. Now, whether they want to do that or not is would be a complete guess from my side. But yes, it's a centralized system. Yes, they have the possibility, and it's open for basically forging new tokens from their side if they need to. And I think when you look at the general way that Ripple Labs is going about the stuff, I think that they really have the approach of a financial institution in the old sense. So that's also, I think, why you would leave yourself the opportunity, or the possibility, at least the technical possibility, open to reprint your own XRP. I mean, possibly 100 billion when they're all when they've all been spent. Probably the protocol as a standard would, if it's being taken over by the whole world, then 100 billion isn't a lot of tokens. So if they want to keep the market attractive enough for institutions to join and continue to join, probably they would want to reprint a couple of billion more. But that's just a guess from my side. But technically, it's possible.
Thanks,
Can we get an indicator on the side to show how much we've enjoyed? Yes, that's what Peter is also, he didn't want to spoil it, but yes, you will find out by visiting our webpage then by many different features on where our current status of this, let's call it the pre-funding XRP phase we're currently in. So that's something we are going to show. Of course, otherwise it doesn't make sense, because we want to start with the trading as fast as it gets, because we do believe, and also the track record of the new trading team that we have hired for this case especially is very promising. And Frank, not true. They are decentralized.
We're lucky to have Frank on the call today, who is very, very well educated on everything about XRP.
Frank, you want to share some insights on your XRP? Okay, then we have 3 pages. Where
Let me just find you. We'll try and find you.
Unmute Frank if you're a season.
See him yet? Okay. Hi, Frank.
Hi everyone. Hello.
Where is he? Where is he?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Frank.
Yeah, you can't see me. I'm without video today.
Okay.
I've just been listening in on everything that has been said, and congratulations on opening up XRP trading as an opportunity for everybody. I think that's a very good thing, but I want to straighten out a few facts before everybody heads in the wrong direction. XRP is 100% decentralized, in the contrary to Bitcoin. There will never ever be more than 100 billion XRP. And in fact, by using the system, part of the tokens will be burned by the use of the system. So there's actually going to be less. Another discrepancy that I would like to correct, and this, I can't blame Robert for that by not knowing this. The company is called Ripple. First of all, not Ripple Labs. Ripple Labs is a part of Ripple. The company itself is Ripple Inc., located in San Francisco in the US. They have never done an ICO. Initially it was another token from another company, which they have taken over. The tokens that they are holding in escrow, they have been pre-allocated already. So they're not from Ripple. Ripple is not their technical owner, but you won't find information on this as they have signed numerous NDAs with numerous bigger companies. And I can in fact confirm that the Bank of America is going to work with Ripple. Actually, Ripple has its headquarters in the office of Bank of America in San Francisco. So they work very closely together. But there's although one could say there is a technical option to print or to make more, well, there is none. So let me be very clear on that. It's 100 billion is the max, and that's it. Ripple is neither selling tokens to fund its operations. That's just not true. They have been selling tokens, yes. Why? Because some institutional investors, some banks, they don't want to be publicly known for owning XRP. Therefore, Ripple has offered the opportunity to buy OTC, which stands for over the counter. Of course, those sales have been made and that money went to Ripple. But on the other hand, they could have sold them on the open market themselves, as we have seen. Basically, the founder of Ripple was Jeff McCaleb, the first person to start the company. When he left and when he started Stellar Lumens, XLM, he took with him roughly 7 billion XRP. And there was a lawsuit that he can only sell a substantial amount every month. And I think it's around about 7 million he can sell every month. That, however, does have a minor influence on the price. Another thing I would like to, I don't want to say correct too much. It's not that Ripple is keeping the price low. It's the market that is suppressing the price. This has nothing to do with the company. The company and the coin are two different things. Of course, the whole setup of Ripple is to provide the internet of value. So not the we have the internet of information right now. They want to provide the internet of value. One of those things is cross-border payments. So therefore, you need interoperability. And that's why they've created the blockchain called the ILP, the Interledger Protocol. And in fact, the interesting part of the Interledger Protocol is that you can also send BTC, Ethereum, you can send all tokens that exist via the Interledger Protocol, which is fast, which is scalable, which can do up to 1,500 transactions a second right now. But they've already done tests where it goes up to 50,000 transactions a second, meaning that it can handle more payments than Visa, MasterCard, and Amex combined. That's where the great opportunity lies. What we will very likely see, and there Robert is correct, basically XRP is a bridge currency. So what we will very likely see, and I think I've added this a month or so ago on calls, what we will see that central banks in countries are going to develop a digital token or their own digital dollar, digital euro, what have you not. And then Ripple comes to use, as there will be market makers who are willing to swap any given denomination that they receive into the denomination of the country where the recipient is. And because of the high speed of the transaction, all of this happens within 3 seconds. Your risk exposure to the market, to the market is very low, and there lies a perfect opportunity for companies, for institutions, but also for everyday people like us to reduce that risk and therefore receive more of your money at the end of the line. That's what's going on, but it's absolutely, there's 100 billion and that's all there will ever be. And in fact, out of those 55 billion in escrow, I know for a fact that a lot of them have been pre-allocated, but since they're on the NDA with companies, with central banks, with maybe who knows, with the IMF, with the World Bank, etc., they cannot announce it. But it's not true that they are funding their company that way. In fact, I have interviewed the CFO of Ripple last week on behalf of a San Francisco venture capitalist company. I have talked with Greg Kidd, one of the first 10 employees of Ripple, and they have confirmed my thoughts about it, although they're also on the NDA, so not in so many words. But we know that, for example, out of the 44 or 45 billion XRP on the market, that roughly anywhere between 20 to 30 billion of them are in the hands of either former founders of the company or current employees of the company. So basically the portion of free XRP available on the market is really very, very small. So that has no influence in suppressing the price, so to say.
So Frank, that's the strength of our platform. We have people that do the research how XRPs can be used, and then we have luckily some major XRP holders. So without the financial advice, but there has been a reason why you have swapped a lot of your assets into XRP, because of course, as a smart businessman in the digital area, you foresee also a profitable move for yourself. So you also think that the XRP has a slightly big chance to go back to its all-time high within the next 12 to 24 months?
Absolutely, we're going to crush that.
Okay.
Crush it. Really, everybody will be amazed, and the speed with which it will go will surprise everybody, because this will happen within 24 hours at any given moment.
Okay. When secret shareholders or users
you go to bed, whilst it's 20 cents, you wake up, I wouldn't be surprised if we're at $50 all at once.
No financial advice, right?
No financial advice, but just my private thoughts and inside information that I'm aware of by talking to people directly at Ripple, and also a lot of venture capitalists and hedge fund managers and so forth. So
that's, yeah, Robert? We have to...
That's actually some you.
Robert.
Okay, Robert.
Thank you so much, Frank. You guys have to understand, Frank is somewhat of a mentor to me when it comes to cryptocurrency. And I'm just always so amazed, because he's really got the insight that is necessary. Like I'll be frank. I've been doing my research by basically reading articles, catching up, reading public information, and also speculatively put together some of these things as from different angles. But obviously I've never had such inside information, and thank you very much for correcting me. I stand corrected, and thank you also for your mentorship in the last couple of years. I can only hope that I will be in such a position as well at some point.
Robert, don't downplay yourself. You've done a good job. But when I heard about this, that they can print extra tokens, etc., I just had to say something, because it's not going to happen. It's like when you would say, okay, there's going to be another 21 million Bitcoin. That's not possible either.
Okay. At least not on the same blockchain. At least not on the same protocol. So let's hope that they.
Yeah, that's another thing. There have been many splits, many forks of Bitcoin. We have diamond Bitcoin, black Bitcoin, gold Bitcoin, and what have you not. With XRP, that's impossible. Okay. Because they work on a consensus-based network with nodes, and actually these nodes, they communicate with each other, and they have to reach an 80 to 85% consensus whether they will upgrade and update themselves. And these nodes, and that's the good part, and that's why they also decentralized instead of everybody says XRP, that the ILP ledger is centralized. Absolutely not true, because any country, any institution can buy a node and therefore be an influencer or a guardian of the network, so to say.
Yeah, just see what should stick in everybody's head is there's an bizarre growth potential also for XRP if you look at it from a profitability standpoint of view, and we help you to get more Ripple or XRP, excuse me, more XRP with our trading that hopefully starts as soon as we have this threshold. And I just wanted to give you one number because Frank was talking now about in the dollar ranges, $3, $4, $5, $10, or $20. If you're capable of, for example, referring 500,000 XRP that has a current dollar price of around 160, no, 500,000 is like 80,000, 85,000 US dollars, for example. If you're able to refer this in your front line within the next weeks or months to come, and if we would maintain our profits as we have achieved them in the last 18 months, you would make roughly around 3,500 XRP commissions per month. And now just multiply with any given number that Frank just said and shared with us so candidly. It's because we have tripled the commission for your activity. So you're doing the same activity, we just triple your commission, and therefore we also stay then super compliant with one affiliate referral level. And from September 1st onwards, the same applies for BTC trading and new members that will join after September 1st until August 31st. Whoever you will enroll in your network, in your hierarchy, we will freeze it and grandfather the commissions on whatever assets might be there on September 5th of this year or in January of next year, et cetera, et cetera. Are there any more questions? I will understand. Do you think it will can achieve in the future? Yeah, I think Parm, Frank answered it in a magnificent way, where he thinks that Bitcoin is heading to, and I'll look into.
Can I add something to this question, please?
Of course, of course.
I do agree with who is actually asking
Parm.
this? Parm. Okay. Yeah, Bitcoin is more like maybe seen as a store of value coin, so to say. The banks will absolutely never use it, obviously, as it's too slow and it's just outdated technology already. Unfortunately for all Bitcoin maximalists here. In regards to XRP, I would like to add it's often called a banker's coin, but it is in fact it's not a banker's coin. Ripple has agreements with over 300 banks. Absolutely good information from Robert there. However, none of these 300 banks are actually using XRP at the moment. What has happened, so what they have done, they have taken over 10.5% of MoneyGram, a money transmittance company, the second largest in the world. And they've been paying them money to execute transactions. They, however, 2 weeks ago took another direction. So we've seen the volume dropping from 15, 16 million US dollar a day to basically zero, as they've chosen another direction now on how they want to improve their network and their and basically their value. I mean, they have an estimated value of 10 billion. The company Ripple. They want to do an IPO. I've understood the IPO will be announced this year, if not happened this year already. Therefore, for them, it's crucial to bring also XRP to a certain value, as they own a part of XRP. And obviously, the more people who will use it, the more it will be known. And we see this by, for example, their CEO, Brett Garlinghouse, now all of a sudden appearing on CNBC and on all radio and television shows, talking about how they see the future of not only cross-border payments, but payments in general. So they've chosen another path towards there. I think that's good. It also takes a vision. If you've been trying to build up a certain segment in the market and you see it's not working, then you should be honest to yourself and say, okay, that didn't work, so we're going to change strategy. We have to remember that the company is only 6 years young. Huh? They've been founded in 2012, but they really kicked off in 2014. What they've done so far is an incredible job. These banks, however, they are losing out on money by using Ripple, as now via the corresponding banking system that SWIFT is using, an antiquated one messaging system. Every corresponding bank can take 1% or 0.5% of fees out of every transaction being made. With XRP, that is gone. So banks are looking for alternatives, and therefore I think we see JP Morgan coming with JPM coin. I think banks will have their own coins. But if you're with whatever bank, you don't want to, and you're not with JP Morgan, you have no use for your JPM coin. And that's where XRP comes into play, because within 3 seconds, or let's say 10 seconds realistically, they can swap it into your own bank's coin or your own digital denomination, right?
Absolutely.
It's not necessarily a banking coin. Right?
Yeah, but like I said, everyone should make his own opinion. I think Frank has summed it up in a very digestible way, totally trustworthy because he's a large owner of XRPs. I think Robert has given you some insights on the technical setup and why Ripple Labs have started this venture. And as Frank mentioned, it's only 6 years old. And I think it's for Cripster, it's very good to have a second standalone product. And I'm even more proud that we could have increased your payments, your commissions, your referral commissions by 3. So it's for the same job that you do now, you get 3 times as commissioned as you have received it before. And that's, I mean, probably you don't get it. It's 3 times more than what you have received now. And this is something where we heading as a refer or like as an affiliate platform, and we don't have to change anything then anymore unless the regulators come with whatever they will come with in the next years. But from our side and from what all different lawyers have stated and all what the regulators have said, this is something we're good to go now, and really being able to refer a handful of people into our platform Cripster. And this has been a pretty nice journey so far, but it doesn't even start yet where we think we can head to as a community. And so many people working in the background that you don't see, that you don't hear, that you don't even know that they exist. But we have bloggers, we have so many people in the marketing that help us to set up this long-term strategy by really establishing ourselves as a household name, not now, but when it counts, like in 2-3 years, when the early adopters have become mass adopters, and when more than 300 people are Googling Bitcoin trading in Germany per month, but maybe it's 3,000 a day then. And we want to be ready then, and we want to be in the top 3 of the Google search ranking by then, and also with full of 100 keywords and phrases where we think will have an impact on us as a platform or on the entire industry. Yeah, actually it's Jenny and John, it's August 31st, midnight Central European time. So whoever is there in your referral network will be, technically it's the wrong word, frozen, but will be grandfathered. So actually what we have internally then more commission runs. We will have a commission run for every member that joined prior to September 1st. And we have a commission run for the members that you have enrolled after September 1st. We have a different commission run for the XRP trading because the profits can be totally varying. It's different products. So we can have, I don't know, 0.5% for Bitcoin or 1.5% for XRP. We can have a minus in Bitcoin and a plus in XRP, or the other way around. So as always, there is no guarantee. And we do our very best. If I say we, I mean the platform. I know the traders do their very best. I know that we had a restructuring also there with one of our main traders. We expect that everything is going to be on track very soon. But like I said, we're here in a very young industry. We're trying to improve our communication towards you, and we try to digest the feedback that we receive from hundreds of people around the globe to make our product and service even better. And Andrew's question. You know what we do, Andrew? On Friday, when I introduce the bonus program, I will come with a full how to grandfather and how to freeze and how to optimize your future commissions. So there's no question left. And I didn't want to mix the two up because I think it's more important that we opened now the platform for XRP payments or transfers. And on Friday, we will talk about how the technical and legal transition from August 31st to September 1st of this year will look like. And I will give you examples and every single question. Maybe you can send it to me also or to Debbie so we can collect all the questions, and there will be another special Zoom call this Friday and by next.
Yeah, sorry, Volker, just put it in the message me directly or put it in the Telegram group. Any questions you have, I will be putting up this video later on today on the Telegram group so you can re-listen, because we've had a plethora of information today from Volker, Robert and Peter, who've done such a great job.
And Frank.
Well, you beat me to it, and not only did we have the amazing insight and what almost seems like inside information from Uncle Frank. Thanks, Frank, for coming on the call. You're just held in such high regard by everyone at Cripster and the platform.
Debbie, can I just add something? Because I just read that Vicky wants to fund her.
XRP, yep. Lilana's already done it.
Look at this. If I go to, let me share. So if I go to XRP, okay, fund your wallet. There is multiple exchanges that don't take this address format, okay? So if you want to copy this, maybe your CoinSpot, your Coinbase, your Kraken, your whatever you're using exchange says, hey, the invalid wallet address. Therefore, please click on this red one, because sometimes you have to take this wallet address, and the destination tag actually is automated for you, is your user ID number. So it's a different wallet address, but destination tag maybe 2112. But it will show to you and it will display to you in the dashboard. So don't be scared if that address doesn't work with your exchange, or that address doesn't work in this R format. Sometimes it's really that you have to put this in as the wallet address and the destination tag in a separate form. So just don't worry about this. Click on this red button if your wallet address that you find here is not accepted by your exchange. That's why we have put this in here. So just again, so you're totally aware of, you go to XRP, fund your wallet, and if this doesn't work, click here and scroll down, and this always works. So copy and paste this, remember this destination tag, whatever number it's shown for you then, and then you're good to go. And it takes, like Frank said, 5 seconds until the XRP will hit your wallet. Okay, sorry for these steps, and now we can end the call.
No problem. Guys, thank you for coming on today. Like always, go into a Telegram group. You will see the recording later. Any questions, send them directly to myself or in the Telegram group. We will collate them and answer everything on Friday. Now, I don't know about you guys, but after hearing what Uncle Frank said, I'm off to buy myself some more XRP and get it into my wallet. It's been amazing sharing this journey with you. Volker, you've solidified today that there is a long and bright financial future for everyone ahead with Cripster. We're going to be here for a long, long time. Thank you for your wisdom, for the team in Vienna, for Frank, and for everyone for being part of this amazing community. Normal call as always on Wednesday, guys, but join us again on Friday for further updates on how we will go forward with the platform, the hierarchy, and moving forward. And there's Herman. Hi, Herman. Thanks for all the work you've been doing. These guys have been working round the clock. Always busy, working round the clock. I'm going to call you shortly, Herman. Guys, thank you for joining us. Go get your XRP and let's get this moving. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye.